Hello, hello, everybody. My name is Brenda Eason. I am the founder of the Black Business Owners Network and co-founder of the Black Empowered Media Network, located at BEMNTV.com. Again, BEMNTV.com, where we're seen on Roku TV, Apple TV, Amazon, and now Tubi. So we're going to tell you more about that as we get started. I'd like to introduce you to my co-host today, Dr. Tina Michelle. And happy Single Day, everyone. Today we're going to be doing deep focus work with Dr. Tina Michelle. She's a business coach and strategist, and she'll tell you more about herself. Hello, Dr. Tina.
Hello, hello, hello. Let me get rid of this little bar. Yeah, this is exciting to me. We went through the calendar, right? A media calendar. We said, how do we engage our audience and our groups based on things that are relevant, right? And this single task day is actually celebrated in corporations, and people do business retreats around it, because the power of focusing on one task at a time is really how you get things done. We've been sort of suckered into this thought that we can multitask, because it doesn't work, not when getting real work done, right? You can habit stack, which is different than multitask, right, Kevin Vaughn, right? But in order to really get things done, I like to do sprints, and I like to use a style or a format called Pomodoro. So what Pomodoro is that you work hard for like 25 minutes, and then you stop for 10 minutes, get up, shake it off, dance around, laugh, or sometimes if I'm facilitating it for you, we bring answers and solutions.
I'm sorry, can everybody mute
Keep
themselves
going on.
unless you're talking? I think someone just came on. Please mute yourself. Thank you. Sorry, Tina.
It's okay. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. And then we want to network and find out more about your businesses and how we can create strategies together. We have a lot going on. This is not a political space, but it is a space about action and truth, right?
Yes.
So in order for us to build up, we are considering our economy within the Black empowered community. I believe in creating powerful joint ventures and strategic alliances. 2009, I had a little blog talk show called Tina Speaks. Tina Speaks spun off into a 5-day-a-week show. Then it was written up in Hollywood Weekly. Then we had a lot of health people, so we started the World Wellness Network. We had a lot of comedian people, so we started Hollywood. Everything was developed organically, and we registered Connect to Your City in 2009. Now we are 213 networks strong, and we hit millions of views. Very niched out. I call it the mastery. We have mastered nichology. In other words, we have network for specific things, and we know how to sell on those networks, right, for our clients. The BBON, I've known Brenda in particular for 21 years.
Yes, yes. Woo-hoo.
And she was already doing BBON. I came alongside her, co-founder, 20, almost 21 years ago, right?
Yep.
And then we started a little podcast / blog called Black Empowered, right? And it was before anybody thought those things would actually work. So we were on Blog Talk Radio. We had some of the best voices: Warren Valentine, George Fraser, Les Brown. A lot of my mentors and a lot of my clients came online so that we could talk about what do we need to do in our community. Fast forward till today. I don't even remember when. We always wonder when Black Empowered started. We don't know.
It was 2009, actually, Zamari. Remember, I was pregnant with Zamari.
Yeah, that's right. It was 2009.
Yep.
I had to sip my tea. So we got a lot of traction there. It brought people together. I'm a firm believer in the visual economy and media economy. So for me, I thought I was just going to be on Black Empowered for a little while, and Brenda was going to take over. We ended up having so much fun.
Yes.
But we show people how to use their media to make their money, right? That's your salesperson who works 24 hours a day. You wake up and go to sleep and have money in the bank. It makes you a happy person, and your vision is speaking and not lying.
Absolutely.
Thanks the Lord. Praise the Lord.
So,
We have 9 participants in the line, Brenda. So I'd love to see who's joining us today.
yes, a lot of people are joining us. Thank you. Kevin Vaughn was on first. So, Kevin, you'd like to introduce yourself really quickly?
Oh, thank you so much, Brenda and Dr. Tina. Appreciate you so much. Kevin Vaughn, CEO and founder of the MLT Network. It stands for Men Let's Talk. It's a family network. In short, we do business consulting. Also, a radio talk show host for over 40 years, as I mentioned to Dr. T earlier as well. I have 4 flagship products, and we do a lot of help with families, businesses, and organizations. So that's a little bit about the MLT network. We have a strong plan to help you out.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us today. He's been a BBON member for quite a long time. We did an interview together, which you'll be seeing shortly. And thank you again for joining. Let's see. I think Princess, that's Amina Scott of Jesus Works Housing Voucher Program. Are you available to speak right now? Introduce yourself. Miss Amina, unmute yourself. No, can't speak at this time. All right, I see. Is that Miss Lacey that just joined us? Lacey Latney. Introduce yourself really quickly. Let them know what you do, how we met, things like that. Are you in a spot where you can talk? If so, unmute yourself. Got some shy people on today, Tina. Let's see. Who else is on here? iPhone. Introduce yourself again and say who you are.
Hey everybody, my name is Megan Monroe. I am launching my network with Tina Michelle, My Life TV. I do blockchain enabled Web3 builds for Web2 businesses. So I have co-founded the Sovereign Bank of New Zealand, Sovereign Bank of Aotearoa, which is New Zealand's actual name. I'm building the Bitflix streaming platform with Tina Michelle. We do all kinds of stuff. So I'm here to support, and I've invited a few friends, and I can't talk too much right now, so I'm just here to listen and receive. And I invited some friends to share the invite.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today, Megan. I've heard a lot about you. We've spoken before. I look forward to working with you a lot more in the future. Okay. Christopher Lynette, he's been around since the inception of the BBON. He's helping me out and also helping me to find talent around for the network. Are you available? Are you in a spot where you can speak really quickly, Chris?
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Hey, Chris.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm just being, my supportive self as always. Listening in and taking all the information in. And hey, it's a great day.
It's a great day. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. All righty. Peace Supreme. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about yourself? And if someone invited you, let us know who invited you. No, Peace Supreme. All righty. All right, Miss Princess Amina says you can speak now. You'd like to introduce yourself, Amina?
Hi, everybody. Hi, my name is Amina. I am CEO, founder of Jesus Work Housing Voucher Program, and I'm trying to get affordable housing. So we get in sponsors and partnership with real estate owners and corporations, and I say construction workers, people that, does the building construction. So we trying to have affordable apartment, affordable community, and we trying to present vouchers, help them, and not just help the homeless, but help those that are in need as well. But not as for them to depend on us, but for them to use this as a stepping stone so they can get being how you say indie no not
Dependent.
dependent
Yeah.
yeah dependent I want them to be independent. So that's about me. That's all I gotta say about the Jesus Works, and it's rough and hard, but guess what? It's so many things to do. I also advocate for the homeless. I'm always out there feeding the homeless. Me and my big sis Jennifer, the New Voyage family, we always out there feeding the homeless, trying to get them a place to stay. And it is hard out there, especially with this 47th in the house. So we trying to make an impact for our country, an impact for this world, and we want to be global in all 50 cities, 50 states and cities. I mean, and I'm hoping that some people will join the team. There you go.
All righty. Thank you for joining, and I hope you guys heard her. She need people to join the team. Let's see. Smiles, MD, are you in a spot where you can talk? I know you say you had some things to do today. Are you just hopping in? Can you speak? Let's see.
Hi, everybody. I am just actually popping in. I have some place else to be, but I didn't want to not come in and at least hear all you guys' good information as well. But I do low impact aerobics, and I teach safety to seniors and our young people and everybody in between. But that's my little gig.
Yes, and a great friend of mine since high school. Thank you for the support over all the years. And
Thank you.
let's see. We have also Tamara Johnson. Would you like to introduce yourself and say who invited you? No, she put something in the chat. Let's see if she's able to speak. So, hi, my name is Tamara, invited by Megan, just here to listen, learn, and support. I'm currently in Uber ride, but glad to be here. Okay, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. Let's see if there's anyone else that's joined us. Oh, Chef Riley's in the house. Denise Riley, like to introduce yourself. Mm-hmm. Chef Riley, are you available to speak somewhere where you can talk? If so, unmute yourself.
Hi, everybody.
Yes, she is. Chef Riley. Hi, tell them a little bit about yourself, where you are, what you do. Okay, all righty. Let's see if anybody else. Anybody else
Hi,
that I caught?
everybody.
She is.
It's
Okay.
Chef Riley. About myself. I am a chef who's about to start a restaurant and a podcast about nutrition, cooking, diabetes, and everything rolled up into one. I know I'm getting my nails done now. I'm almost finished.
That's great. That's my lane right there too.
Yes.
I'm a
That's
chef.
your lane too, or chef?
Yes. We're about to venture off into a little small hustle. I'm sharing with Brenda, family recipe, so we can, just make ends. You know what I mean? Like make money. So that's what I'm about to do too, also.
All right.
That's great.
So you made a connection just like that. Alrighty, what about Linus? Linus. I'm sorry, Linus. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell them a little about who you are and who invited you?
Sure. My name is Glennis Woods Mullins, and I am a holistic living and wellness expert for women over 40. I specialize in helping women to get well and stay well. I've been doing this for almost 18 years. And Brenda invited me here today. I not only have coaching services, I also have a very successful podcast. I have a membership program that's online. And I also have a group on Facebook of over 25,000 women who are all over 40. I have almost 200,000 following me on the internet. Right now, I'm looking for connections, businesses who want to offer my website as a benefit to their employees so the businesses can improve their attendance, improve people going out on stress leave and other things because that costs money. And I have 21 or 22 now contributors to the website. They're all traditionally trained doctors, as well as naturopaths, therapists, fitness trainers, other wellness coaches, relationship experts. I have a plethora of women that represent over 350 years of experience in wellness and health. And all of them contribute to the website. On the website, there's blogs, there's a podcast, there are classes you can take. We also do workshops every week. There's a full schedule that's printed on there right now of all the workshops that we have. And we also have special events for the members only. And it's just growing every day. But I particularly want to see if I can find businesses who are interested in working with this kind of a program to offer very inexpensively to their employees to help improve their retention rates and to help drive down the cost that comes with people calling in for sick. And I know about that because I was a human resources director for 25 years in corporate America, and I know how costly that could be to carry it on the book. So that's my goal. We'll see how it goes. I'm very glad to be here, and thanks for listening.
Thank you. And I know she's interested in getting more exposure, and she's excited about being on the Black Empowered Media Network. I've been trying to connect you and Dr. Tina Michelle for a while, so I'm glad we're on the same call at the same time so we can get you up on the network with Dr. Tina, meet Lennis. Lennis, meet Dr. Tina. Please, everybody, put your contact information in the chat so people can know how to reach you. And let's see if did I miss anybody? It's a lot of people on here today. Thank you all for joining us today. Zach Smith, I'm sorry that he popped in. Would you like to introduce yourself, Zach? If so,
Yes,
please
ma'am.
unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am. It's just hard to find this mute button sometimes, so
It's
please
okay.
forgive me. So, yes, I'm Zach Smith, CEO of AlignTech.io. I'm a solutions architect and strategic integrator with a proven track record in financial technology, predictive analytics, and automation. I specialize in designing and implementing scalable, high-performance solutions that merge data-driven intelligence with real-world applications. From financial integration projects to sport analytics and AI-driven decision-making, I bring a blend of technical expertise, strategic foresight, and hands-on execution. So I'm glad to be here.
Nice. And how did you hear about today's call?
I heard by way of Megan. Megan is my spiritual advisor to a certain extent, but also a professional partner in other strategic approaches that we're working on together. So I'm here by way of Megan.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Megan, for inviting so many people. And again, everybody put your contact information, website, phone number in the chat so people can know how to network and contact you. And at this point, Dr. Tina Michelle, I'd like to turn it back over to you. She's going to be leading us up today to celebrate Single Task Day and do some deep focus work. Dr. Tina?
I'm so excited to meet all of you. Thank you for being here. Just for some context on Megan. Megan has to be one of the smartest people, I'm not going to say women, people I have ever met. She is brilliant. She's 30 years old. She's beautiful. She works in a space where there's not a lot of us in, and I'm happy to call her one of my goddaughters, spiritual daughters. And she's one of my closest friends, and I love her. So her contribution is amazing. And we're getting ready to launch an entire TV network together called Met My Life. So she will be part of the Connect to Your City family, just like Brenda is part of the Connect to Your City family with BEMN TV. And so we're not here to talk about that too much, but just know that my come from is always going to be around the video and media economy, right? Being seen, right? Being heard and letting your media work on your behalf. And I gave a little bit of history at the top of the call that we started Connect to Your City officially as a multi-channel network in 2009. Before that, they were specific functions. They didn't call them apps. We had Faith Phone and text to word and dial and donate. We were able to work with the first campaign for President Obama to start that entire mobile delivery. So when we talk about legacy technology, we've been in the middle between legacy television, new tech, which was IPTV then, now it's OTT now, as well as emerging social tech. And then Megan opens up the whole world of Web3, which is narrowcasting, and broadcast through the blockchain. So I'm excited on what we get to do today, even though today is sort of a hard day when it comes to how our communities are showing up and how we're working together and how we're being perceived in the country that we help to build and develop, right? It gives us the opportunity to look at ourselves as a community, right? How do we work together? How do we learn from each other? And one of those ways we get to do that is by creating strategic constellations. And there's so many podcasters on the line, making sure that you get each other's information and sharing audiences and booking guests. That's important, right? We've created the Podcasters Collective to that effect so that our indigenous eyeballs for only 10 of our networks, which is the only thing I've been tracking the past 6 months, which reaches about 22 million people, unique views per month. And we are expanding it by 10 networks every 60 days so I can observe the behavior. Each one of our networks are independently owned, so we don't interfere with their independent ability to broadcast. But we do offer them training support, sponsorship training. That's what the Podcast Collective is, the beginning space for education, is that we train how do you create funnels? How do you get brand deals? How do you create corporate deals? Like Linus was talking about. I think some of you have been around for a while, like Chris, you know that I share my birthday with one of my favorite people. Her name is Deborah McCreary. Her birthday is on May 15th, just like mine, and she is a fitness trainer. And I met her at FraserNet, who George Fraser was my client at the time. And we created a corporate delivery fitness program for her. And we were able to also get it into the mega churches because Lord knows we need to be working out as a community. Sometimes we only gather in church. So it worked out very well for her. But if you look her up, Linus, she's an amazing trainer. She is almost 70 years old. And when I grew up, I want to look just like her. She's naturopathic and beautiful. So I'll make sure you have her information because she'd be a great provider for your network. So what is single task focus? I am watching the time. We are now hitting 11:30, so I want to give you some context. So
Camera's off. I don't know if you know.
Pardon me?
Your camera is off.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Press a lot of buttons. Okay, there you go. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Okay, so it is 11:26. So at 11:30, be very conscious of time. I believe time is a container for release and for manifestation. I think we birth through time. And we have the opportunity every day to jump into time and create change. And that's why I like creating containers of time of productivity. I happen to be a real productivity geek. So did someone say anything? Does someone want to inject?
No, it was from Zach's phone.
Okay, no problem. I believe time is a great container of productivity, and how we engage time is going to make a difference in how effective we are. Some of the enemies that we have of our time is probably other people's stuff, the stuff in the world, the responsibilities we have, the people, places, and things that are in our environments. They tend to take up our time. So when we create these little spaces, these little pockets, and I like to use the Pomodoro technique in particular, then we are creating massive action in 25 minutes. So what I want to do at the on top of the hour is for us to really think about what is it that if we were to tackle it today and frame it today, how would that be a game changer for our business? Like Linus, you talk about reaching out to corporate. You probably already have a marketing plan. You probably have a one sheet that you're reaching out to corporate with. You probably have outreach, people who are doing outreach. What is it that you need to look at that would collapse time for you in that area? Is it adding automation? Is it having a different sales page or sales funnel so that it's focused just on corporate language, specifically what you're talking about? which I happen to have a little experience in, is to reducing the expenditure of human resources and corporation in manpower, available or non-available in a corporate construct. That saves a company a lot of money. That delivery. Do you need to relook at your sales language? Do you need to look at your copy editing? Let's do that at 12 o'clock and dig into it, right? And then Zach, how are you operating in the area of technology? I mean, if you are rolling with Megan, then you go pretty deep. That's how I know. Megan is my tech translator. Sometimes she'll say things like, girl, you speak tongues. I don't know what you're talking about. But she's the best person to explain it, right? She has a beautiful way of delivering something that was very complex and now very simple. What do you need to get done that you might have forgotten about or put on the back burner, or so I'll handle it later. I'll handle it another time. That if you were to just look at it for 25 minutes, it would be a game changer for you. I don't expect you to answer this now. We're going to tackle these things. Kevin, the same thing for you. I love the fact that you have a man-centered network. We just rolled out men's health TV, in particular Black Men's Health TV. And then we have another man-focused network, which is really a cigar network, but it's really about how men engage each other while they're getting a haircut and smoking cigars, right? So I love the fact that you're working on that. But what is it? What's your growth jump right now? What could you do right now that would bring you to 20% growth before the end of March? What would you focus on, right? I know you already have media, and I would love to talk to you about how we can bring some of your media onto BEMN. But is your media working for you? Is it really you're a salesperson, or do you find yourself investing a lot of time doing production, a lot of time trying to find guests, or are you finding time in fulfillment, fulfilling orders, and making sure your business is growing and expanding? What is it that you need to pay attention to? Do I still have everyone on the same page? Because I know I power through information pretty quickly. Good.
Yes.
And then we have Denise, who just got her nails done, When Chris said, we're on the same page, I said, what do you mean, Chris, you're getting your nails done? But cooking. We've been
Yes,
talking
definitely.
about the cooking show. We did some beautiful productions last year of one of the prophetesses actually who had a cooking show. We tested it and everything. It was beautiful. We were able to use clips of her show to sell her own product with her own name on it. And it made a difference for her, right? And not just saying, I'm going to share this with people for free. Now here are the monetizable instruments. One of my favorite things to do is to help people mine their business, not mind your business. Where's the money? Let's find the money. Let's get it on the board. Let's figure out how to strategize every activity and put a dollar amount. We'll look at a little corner store. It looks like the stuff is all over the place in the shelves, but there is a strategy to stocking the store. When you walk to a bodega, there's a reason why there are things in the front of the store. There's a reason why things are at the cash register. There's reasons why some of the staples like flour and canned goods are in the back of the store on the ground in front of things you may not normally buy, like car scent, little pine trees. There's a strategy in how you place things. And those are the ways that they have been able to maximize their real estate. Even if your real estate is digital, it is still real estate. And there's ways to maximize your real estate through mining your business. One of the things I absolutely love, though it scares a lot of people, is I love AI. Now, AI doesn't write for me or think for me, but it does enhance me, and I move faster because of it. We understand that? I think when the AI explosion first started, everybody's like, I'm going to let AI write my book. That was all plagiarism. I sort of waited until people got finished with that and Google started to shut them down and they weren't able to move, to show people how to use it as an enhancement, but not in replace of you. And the one thing I will say about AI in this time, people are saying AI is going to take our jobs. Maybe we don't know what the future holds. Who knew that this past month would look the way it looks today, right?
Right.
But I will say, your job will be taken by someone who knows how to use AI. Right? That is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't gone through everybody here that's on the list. I saw Denise. princess. I always love her voice. And the work that she does is just amazing. And she's very diligent about it. So I would love to see how we can help her reach her goal. Right alongside some of our goals at Black Empowered Media Network, we are recruiting lawyers around the country. We want to see different precedences retried. We want to go back to court about certain things that affect our communities, indigenous communities, Latin communities. When I first sort of created this legal bomb, this legal weapon, I didn't know why I was passionate about it. And I tried to put it aside because I'm like, wow, this is going to be a thing. I know it's going to be a thing. But now that we're here at this day, I'm so excited to continue with that. So having a goal of having a presence in every state is not unusual, especially when you're partnering with a network like ours that have presence in every state, right?
Yep.
Different countries.
Yep.
And we're connecting city to city to city. And we want to create strategic constellations of cure and profit from city to city to city.
That's right.
And people like Princess, who's passionate about housing and helping people be independent. We need that conversation as much as we need to learn how to use Bitcoin. We need to understand how to participate in the economies that are going to serve us. Bottom line, right?
Yes.
So I want you to think about this. You have a few minutes. What is that one thing that would be the game-changing situation? For me today, it's about finishing up a book, right? Well, you have to finish the covers of the book. The insides of the book are done. Brent and I use the deep focus work to get a lot of this done before, and more than ever, this book is about going from grief to peace. We want to finish the cover. So I'm going to use my time off camera to go through the different covers, the artwork, and see how we can get it done so I can get it to publish, right? What are the things that you guys need to take care of today? Be serious with yourself. And you know what people have used this deep focus work for? Sometimes it's not about their work. Sometimes it's just about tolerations. They're in their office and all the files are messy. They used a 25-minute sprint to reorganize their files or clean their computer or clean up a closet that has been just speaking to them. Why does that matter with your money? Easy. If there's something that's wrong with one place, believe me, you feel it in your place, in your space, right? The thing that you ignore is controlling you. I know people hate when I say that, but it is. The thing that you pretend not to know is the thing that's really your blockage. So it gets to flow in a different type of way today, where this time is just for you. It's actually Saturday, so the BEMN TV network, it's Self-Care Saturday. So this is part of your self-care. I want you to also go through the text and the chat that's here and get everybody's information. I was just telling you the other day, I'm not a networker in the aspect that I go into a room and I'll give you a business card. That is a waste of time to me. It's like kindling for a fireplace. I like to sort of pick out who I'm going to know, who are we going to connect with, and make a deep, meaningful connection, right? Or write down on a piece of paper, this is Zach Smith, this is what he does. Here's what I think it can create intentionally together. Not, oh, well, what do you do? This is what I do. Maybe you can call me back. Blah, blah, blah. Let's design something that's totally unique to our meeting that's miraculous. How do we create this miracle in the space? We can do this.
Yes.
Now, my final thought. There's a lot of companies right now that depended on grants, that are depending on government funding, and things are changing. They are. I think as people of color and Black people, okay? I know there's a political thing about saying people of color. There's a political thing of just saying Black people. This is what I'm going to plead to our network. People of color are 3/4 of the world population. We are not a minority.
Nope.
When we get that into our head and into our very DNA, that there is nothing minor about you, then you will really be able to unlock the miracle that's inside of you and embedded in your DNA without going too deep. I just really hear a lot of more divisive language right now. And that is how it's designed. The more we separate, the more we're diluted. The more we're diluted, the more we're distracted. The more we're distracted, we as a people will be destroyed. And we do not have to allow it when you are 3/4 of the world population. You are not a minority. That's all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Any
Love it.
feedback, any questions before we jump into the deep focus work?
No. Let's
Great
see.
job, Dr. Tina. Yeah, you're right on time on all the stats and all the positions. We just don't see enough of the information you're saying. We just don't see enough of the data. So if you look at the data, it'll tell you everything you just said. I love it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. And I love data. I love data. Give me facts. Look, we don't have to agree, but at least be accurate. That's what I say.
Right. Since we've started Desiree Delacroix, I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name. Would you like to introduce yourself really quickly, Desiree? And let them know where you're joining us from, if you can. If you're in a spot where you can talk. And if not, I see Lacey jump back on. Like I said, she's a singer with the new album coming out. I don't know if she's in a spot where she can speak, but that's her background. Back to you, Dr. Tina.
Lacey, we were just talking about you. Is she here?
Uh-huh.
Desiree De La Cruz. I'm going to take a shot. That's how you pronounce it. De La Cruz, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's here from Michigan. Who invited you, Desiree? You can write it in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Lacey, our album is almost done.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Megan. Okay, very good. So we're all family up in her. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we're celebrating Les Brown's birthday all month.
All month.
Les
Yes.
Brown, I call him my Uncle Les. He calls me his Tina May. Okay. I have done his brand strategies, his book launches, and he just turned 80 years old Monday. So, and if you follow Les Brown, continue to give him blessings and love because he almost make it. And we love him and he's a friend to this network, Mr. Les
Yes.
Brown. And we adore him. And I'm only saying that because just text me. I'm sending him for a free meal today, thank God, at the Vegan Soul Restaurant in Atlanta, Georgia. So he's happy. He is happy. Now let's see, Miss Lacey. If your album is almost ready for launch, that means there's something we can listen to with your vocal on.
Yes.
And I suggest that we do a virtual listening party.
Mm-hmm.
Is she there? Can she talk?
I don't know if she's in a spot where she can speak, but if so, please unmute yourself, Lace.
Or just text?
Oh, text it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I will be following up with you about that because I'm excited to hear your vocals up front and center. And that's another part of our network. We do a lot with independent artists and musicians. We were blessed. I sort of been on mini retirement. Let me check my time for public speaking for the past 2 years or so. And I came out of retirement on December 28th. And our very first event was the Arizona Bowl with Snoop Dogg. We partnered with him directly. And we bought our podcasters there. And they said to me, it's not going to work. How are you going to do human impact in the middle of a football game? And you're going to bring hip hop. You can't do all that. I'm like, I've been doing it for 20 years. I believe that if we bring edutainment to the space, then we'll be a lot more effective. Well, they usually get about 30,000 people at the Arizona Bowl game because of the Alliance of Connect to Your City and Snoop Dogg. We had 110,000 people on the floor.
Yes.
We had our podcasters there. They were on the hash. We had our independent artists performing at the nightclubs. And, you know, I'm grateful that we were able to sort of demonstrate that. And that's more of what we're getting ready to do, even outside of the Black community in 2025. We have some beautiful events for peace and sustainability that we will be working with, and healers and fitness trainers, and we'll be doing a live wellness Wednesday in June, hopefully right out of Hawaii with Heidi Little, instead of doing it virtually. So I would love to see Linus on that. So hopefully you guys are thinking about that one thing you need to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? I really want it to be valuable to you today, to see how when you jump into these spaces and places very focused, you can get things done. It won't take all day long. Sometimes it takes 5 hours of toiling, trying to figure out, asking questions, gaslighting yourself, being confused. And then you get done, it's like 15 minutes. It's just done. Or sometimes it's not for you to do. I was very impressed with me doing one chatbot in 3 weeks. And then I speak to Megan and I go, she could do that in about 10 minutes, right? Sometimes it's not what, it's who. Are you the person who needs to get it done? Who do you need to partner with for it to move faster? That's a quantum leap, making the proper alliance, the proper partnership. How much has scarcity and fear driven your decision-making processes, right? We have to think about that. I know a lot of times Brent and I will be talking and I'll say a crazy number. Like, I want this much money in 1 month, right? And she's looking at me like, girl, I'm like, you got to lock it in and write it down. And she's watched me do it, right?
Yes.
Just based on, I need to stretch my capacity. I need to think beyond what I have. And it doesn't have to be harder. It can be easier. If I have a lot of complication in my business, that's going to drag my money. Let me simplify and simplify and simplify. That might be something you need to look at today.
That's
during
one of my things. Yes.
is it too complex? Complexity and convolution creates chaos, right? Simplicity, a very simple, beautiful design perpetuates forever. Like, look at the cell, look at air. It's so simple because if we had to think about it every day, I'm going to breathe in now. I'm going to make sure there's enough air in this room right now. Okay, now it's going into my lungs. Okay, now I'm going to expire and it's going to come out of my, if we had to think about that every single day, some of us would suffocate. Simplicity of that technology is amazing. And that's how you know it's good tech, because it runs on its own. That's your business running with systems and scaling. Is that what you need? Do you need to make sure that you're scaling? Think about what you might need, right? Think about if God can scale. Come on now. Like, he didn't think about how much water we were going to need to hold the population density in 2025. You know, we had to keep finding new water. The water cycles itself and produces itself. It's simple design and it's elegant and it's beautiful. And that's what a really good business feels like. It feels elegant and beautiful and simple. It doesn't have to have operational overwhelm. I mean, I applaud Linus with the membership sites, everything else, because we walk people through that on a regular basis, and they have made it so complicated and convoluted that they stop themselves. But I'm like, it's simple. If you want it to be simple, if you create a good system. So the fact that she has a membership site, she has these things running, she thinks strategically, right? Where do you need more strategy? Kevin said he loved the plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I've heard that since I was a kid. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But sometimes our plans are based on what we know. And it takes a collective community for us to know something different. So that when we're planning, we're planning based on the next level, not what we have in our hand today. Right? Use your time to vision that. Vision, what does your next level look like? What does it feel like? Some of it may not be doing something, right? You might have to figure out, who do I need to be to do this today? Right? And this is not about not being you. This is about what skill sets do you admire in other people, or what business owner do you see that is actually doing it, and figure out, if I could be the, back in the day, we had a champion runner, and she was fly and she was flashy. Her name was FloJo, and I loved her, right? And so when I ran track, I didn't look at, let's just run this track, right? I would say, I'm going to be Flojo. I'm going to be super, I'm going to have pizzazz and finesse. I'm going to cut through the air. My hair's going to be cute. I'm going to be Flojo, right? So that was my who did I need to be today to get that done. Because when I embodied what I felt she was to me, which was beautiful, elegant, powerful, fast, enduring, and excellent, then I was able to raise the bar for myself because that wasn't around me at that moment, right? So we can all learn from each other. So are we ready with our goals?
Yes.
We got about
Absolutely.
any feedback? I would
Yeah,
love
Tina, I wanna translate it for the layman like me. One of the things that when we talk about the concepts that she's approaching, they're really high level skills. And so I feel like sometimes if we get a disconnect in like the understanding, it causes you don't know where to go in that you don't have a neural pathway that leads to that section of your brain, and you don't have an operating system for that area. And so even like something as planning our business and attacking that big thing, a lot of times the reason why it's a big thing is because we don't have a method of operation in that specific thing. And so it needs to come down to what is the goal, and reverse engineering from there. What processes do you already know and already have in order to achieve the goal? So if I wanted to add 10,000 people to my Facebook group in the next 3 months, how do I go through the process of getting people's attention? That's one thing that I have to focus on. How do I go through the process of collecting the data and the process of bringing people into my group? How do I go through the process of keeping their attention when they're in the group? What's the purpose of the group when they're there so that the activity stays? What do I need to put in place to keep people engaging? And then ultimately, now that I've got 10,000 people in there, why are they there in the first place? And what's the goal for that to benefit my business? It's breaking it down into understanding the world that you're building when you're mastering this idea, and then understanding where you have the ability to perform and where you need to ask for help and assistance. And that's where market research comes in, and asking a friend. But don't get caught up in other people's information when you don't know how to put that information in motion, and focus on simple actions. Faith without actions, right? We have to take actions. And then once you start taking the actions, that's where real-time data starts popping
Yeah.
to help guide your experience. And if you know the endpoint where you're trying to leap to, or where you're trying to get to, and then you reverse engineer from that, let God fill in the holes, which means let the experience of you actually stepping into time and putting these plans and processes in time be what guides you to that end result, but keep that focal point. And so I just wanted to share that for some of us that, for me, I wasn't trained in business. I wasn't trained in all of these things, but I had to find systems that worked. And once I found my systems that worked, I started to compound those systems or layer those systems. And that's how I got those really big results. And now that, relates to millions of views and hundreds and thousands of dollars in sales in short amount of time, compressing timelines. So I just wanted to add that, Tina Michelle.
Thank you so much, Megan. That's my goal. One of my goals anyway. My main goal to add 10,000 more people to the BBON, hopefully within the next month, but I would take 3 months. So thank you. I took plenty of notes, and then I need that to convert to me making money in my business and not just doing this for my health pretty much and not getting any support from the members.
exactly.
Wow.
Any more feedback? I would love for people to feedback. Now you see why Megan is
I got to jump here, Dr. T. Amen. Yeah, I got to say something about this area, because this is the area that I touch on with our clients on a regular basis. First of all, please understand, folks, we're all in business to make money, okay? Please understand. One of my mentors said, no more hustles, hobbies, or hookups. Okay, you got to get out of that mentality. That's the first thing. Hey, don't get me wrong. You can do some free stuff every now and then, pro bono stuff, but please understand you're in business to make money.
That's right.
Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing, each one of us are CEOs and founders and brilliant people. Guess what? You got to think of it a little bit like, say, for example, all of us wanted to build a 7-star hotel. A 7-star hotel. Now we're the owners. We got the money, we got the land, we got the location, everything. We know we're going to make a ton of money out of it. But guess what, guys? You got to have a team of people that's going to help you do that. Megan just mentioned that earlier. You got to have a team around you that can handle all the details from the foundation all the way to the roof of the building. You know, all the stuff that's going to go in there. We're talking about the staircase. How's that going to look? The carpet, you know, who's going to put the windows in? You know, all the amenities that have to go with a 7-star hotel. That's how we got to think. But you got to have a plan. And guess what? It's got to be written down on paper. I know you have it up here in your wonderful mind, but it's got to be on paper so we can understand how to execute. And then, of course, even change it. You may have to change it and modify it as you go along, but you got to have it on paper. That's what we do here. We do this part. You've got to have a great plan. You got to have people around you that understand that, but also have a track record of helping others do that. And Megan just mentioned that too as well. So that was brilliant, Megan. Thank you so much for that.
Yes, brilliant. Mhm.
That's how you get there, guys. You got to have a plan. You got to have some people that understand that, reverse engineering, people that have background in that area. And we're just excited about helping you guys out get there. And if I don't know, we got a ton of people in our network that can help you. No doubt
Yes.
that. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Kevin.
I
Great
can
feedback.
I can't thank you enough for the invite, Megan. And I can only speak in concert with those that responded, but definitely from you as a catalyst. Reverse engineering has always been a prided approach from my earlier stage in entrepreneurship, closer to my high school ages. And it wasn't really endorsed at the time to the true understandings that I have now. And a saying to me was success is engineered backwards, not guessed forward.
Mm.
And, you know, if you break it down right, you can build it up better. So, you know, faith without works is dead, just like you said, Megan. And, you know, extending that work effort to the biggest extents that you can, knowing that God is truly the absolute value and the alpha and omega of whatever you're doing, has always been a constant reminder. And I can hear it resembling just off of your voice and your presence and with the presence of this group. So I'm just glad to be here today.
Mhm. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, everybody take their deep breath. Now, reverse engineering, if anyone has been around me for any of the time, they know that I work that way. And we bite the elephant one bite at a time. We eat the elephant one bite at a time. You can just tackle it. But focus work in this demonstration is really focused about what is it really going to take for you to get something done and defining it, right? Making sure that as you're defining this thing, that this is really what's going to serve you. This is what's going to give you a quantum jump. It can be very task oriented, like with me and Brenda finishing up this cover for the book, or it could be, I need to see a 20% increase in revenue in my business, or I want to see this many people join. What are those actions? What are those activities that's going to get you to that goal, right? And you go from the end game to your original starting point right now, right? And then we bridge the gap. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Right. Everyone sort of has their thoughts about it and what they want to get done. I'm reading the chat as well.
Mhm.
Peace Supreme. Peace Supreme is not able to speak, but I would love to know more about Peace Supreme if anyone referred them in. I just like the name, Peace Supreme.
Mhm. I'm an artist, entrepreneur, and a writer.
Peace Society.
Oh, good job. Yeah.
Yep.
I believe
Somebody-
that's one of my guests, but they haven't shared that brand with me. So
Okay. Okay, awesome. So welcome, Peace.
oh yeah, that's my brother. Okay, so he's one of the crypto influencers that I work with. He's an artist. He moves and navigates financial realm, crypto space, metaverse, NFTs, more like utility-based projects and the creative expression through blockchain technology, but also gives signals on projects that are moving so that you have the opportunity to gain access to things that are going to appreciate your money. And then he also helps do a lot of loss prevention in the form of helping you validate or disinvalidate projects. So it's really valuable to have someone like him in your arsenal when navigating the crypto space.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, welcome, P Supreme or Crypto Denzel. We're happy that you're here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get ready for our first 25 minutes, right? Does everyone have something in particular that they want to focus on? Some of us are driving. I see that, so it's going to be hard for us to get focused. But when we do our traditional deep focus work, you get a workbook. I was looking for that workbook today. Brenda, I don't know if you still have it, the workbook from last time. You get a workbook and we go into it so that you can really map out where you're going and create a strong roadmap for your destination. This gives you a taste of what you can get done in 25 minutes if you focus on it, right? Many of us who have worked in corporate, like Linus mentioned, she worked in HR, we had productivity markers. And so working in chunks was critical. It was just sort of figured out. It was, this is what I'm expecting for you to take care of on this project map. And you're going to do your part because everybody's doing their part. And if we don't do our part, then we won't hit the goal, right? So think of it that way, that when we come back together, even if it's a point of clarity, right? Write the question, write the goal, and take the time to figure out what that looks like and build it. If I want to look right now, this is very simple. I want to look at covers for the book, right? So covers for my book, I have a whole bunch of covers, right? So I have to not look at them right now and then go back and think of what do I want people to feel when they see the cover to this book and how do I want it to engage them? In sitting on their bookshelf or sitting on their coffee table, or what's going to make them click on it on the drive, and then look at the art that was submitted to me, right? And then build it out from there. Starts with my thought, my ideation, not somebody else's thought or ideation. Okay. Are we good? Is anyone unclear about what they want to work on for the next 25 minutes? Everyone's shaking your head. You can come off camera. You can think about it. And then we'll be back here at 12:25. Okay? Very good. The clock starts now.
Okay.
Hey, Denise, can you hear me?
Yeah, Doc, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, how's everybody doing?
Fantastic.
Everybody's
Good.
fine. Thank you.
Was that productive at all?
Yes, yeah, for me, I actually had it written down before you even got started, actually. So but I
That's
need
so
to,
awesome.
yeah.
Denise, I have a question. Are you in Westchester County, New York?
Well, actually, I was in Dutchess County.
No,
I'm sorry, Doc. Were you talking to me or someone else? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Denise, she has a 914 area code, so I'm just being nosy.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Westchester County, Mount Vernon, New York,
Yeah.
/ the Bronx. Yeah. I had moved and relocated to Virginia. I'm now in Hampton, Virginia. I'm trying to establish a restaurant or like a little food spot in Newport News, Virginia, which is located right across the street from the shipyard. Um, I have a LLC and an EIN. I think the next step to take is working on my credit score so I could be able to get more grants and funding to have the equipment and the tools for the restaurant or possibly the fixing. In the meantime, I'm working on a business plan to map out what um, what the business will be about, how many people to hire, and what to pay and stuff like that. And then it goes out to the grants and the fundings and stuff, and I have to see how much I'll be able to establish for the restaurant.
Got it. I want you to contact Brenda, right? And then get on my calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Denise.
Yeah, what you say, honey?
I said, get on my calendar, Denise.
Get on your calendar?
Yes.
Contact me and
Brenda.
I'll get you on our calendar.
Okay, yes.
Okay,
I
so
got
that way
you.
we can have more of a discussion.
Yep. Gotta have a
Yes.
plan with it.
Got to have a plan, got to create a game plan, a roadmap. You know, I'm all about planning.
Yep.
So, okay, now Kevin Vaughn, you was ready. After
Doc, yeah, well, in all fairness and all honor to you as well, and Brenda, I teach the same thing. We teach this all the time. But one of the areas I looked at my business. Sometimes you don't look at your own business because you're in place, but I looked at my own business as well, and specifically, I just need to do more. I need to have a promo video on what I do. So that's my goal, Doc, is to get that promo video done this month, and then be able to push that out all across the planet. In a nutshell.
Excellent. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's all about the visual economy, right? I think about, Britt and I discussed a while ago, I think, maybe a month ago, is I've never advertised for my business. Not paid money for dollars, and that's because we have media. So there's my marketing engine. It's just all in the call to actions.
Yep.
Right. So what were you able to clear about in this 25 minutes?
Well, actually, again, I didn't really have too much time to spend on it because I already knew what I needed to do earlier. In fact, before this call, I was thinking about what I just shared with you. So, but this is just to kind of motivate and put a date to it too. I got to put a date to it. That's the big.
I was going to ask you, what are you going to do and by when? How do you prove it?
Right? I will have that today. I will
feel free to email us and let us know that you got it done, right? So we can see what it looks like, and maybe we'll promote the video.
Absolutely, and you will see it, Brenda. Y'all will see it, no doubt.
We want to see it.
Yeah, you will see it.
And with their 25-minute sprint.
That was great. Thank you for the time to do that.
Love it. I love being focused, getting things done. I was able to look at the last two covers for the book, And
Yeah.
Brenda and I chose which book cover we're going to use, right, Brenda?
That's
And
right. I'm
it's very
excited.
cute.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. And I had one that was very complicated, but I personally really like simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very simple cover design, but both of them are AI renderings. And I don't know if you can show it, Brent. Can you show it?
Want me to show it? Hold on.
Yeah, that's
I gotta go
Your books those are instruments, right? Just like financial instruments, those are tools. When you have a book, when you have something there that's like a postcard, right? Or a billboard, then people are taking a piece of you with them, right? There it goes.
beautiful. I love
Isn't
it.
that nice and simple, very understated?
Yep.
And the book is called From Peace to Grief.
Oh, I love it. Beautiful, Doc. Beautiful.
So yeah, I think
Who
you
doesn't
both
love butterflies, right? Who doesn't love butterflies on the planet?
right, and it's just very simple, right? So that's that we just made that decision.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Beautiful. Linus, what did you clarify during this 25 minutes?
Well, quite a bit actually. I do have my top 5 things that I am going to be working on this weekend that I think would help me get started. I'm going to develop a target company list. I've already created a LinkedIn email during the 25 minutes for my outreach, spelling out, what it is that I want to do with them and why I think they might need it. And I am in the middle of designing a corporate pitch deck, and I'm going to do a one-pager and have that ready to go and start engaging with the HR leaders. So I hope to get the target company list done by today, and the email should be done by today as well. And the pitch deck won't be done maybe until Monday, but I should be ready to start reaching out to HR leaders by Sunday night, start sending stuff out. So that's kind of what I thought about 25 minutes.
That's awesome. And I did outreach for you, right? So I do have a friend who sells to corporations wellness packages. They're called Simply Wellness. And so I believe in most impact, less work, right? And so that usually happens through joint ventures and strategic alliances. So I'm waiting for them to get back to me. Me a name and number, I'll pass it on to you, but that represents
That would be great.
that's 300 companies, right? And as to
That whatever will cut it. There was one thing I thought about that didn't occur to me until this morning. Given the new environment with DEI or lack of DEI or whatever, I'm thinking that even though that is not my specialization, never has been, I don't want it to be, and that is working, having a program for men. I'm wondering if I need to have that component instead of leading with the fact that this is for women 40 plus. What's your opinion on that in terms of what's going on DEI wise?
I think believe in your niche, right? No matter what's happening around you, whatever brings you life and brings you joy, and that's your highest green activity. Your highest green activity where you've had your success. Stay
Okay.
sort of
Okay.
like focused on. I'm working on an article right now that I'm going to send to my list called "Put Your Blinders On," right? And really on your niche. Right. There's a lot of ways that I want to go, and I am probably going to add life coaching back to my practice because I'm getting a lot of people who are very anxious. Right. But I'm going to focus them back into their own calling, back into their own passion, and then drill it down into your highest green activity. What is your highest ticketed activity? Right. So that you can trickle it down. Now you have a membership community. So your membership community is a great base for you to be able to upsell in many different ways. And so
I think you're absolutely right. And I am ahead of the curve in so many ways because I know a lot of people are going to be going online to try to, supplement their income or create income or whatever. And another thing that I've done, and this started in COVID, I saw a need accidentally. A friend of mine who had a brick and mortar, it was closed and she needed to get online and she didn't know where to start. And so I, helped her with that. And she offered to pay me for it. And I said, oh, no, I'll just do it. It's not a big deal. She says, no, Linus, this is valuable. I don't know where to start. You gave me a strategy, blah, blah. So anyway, 2.5 years later, I've done 20 websites, bunch of sales pages, and have done branding and all of that. And so another piece of the pie that I'm thinking about, which doesn't have to segue from my wellness business. Oh, the only thing is that I really want to help women who are trying to start businesses in the wellness genre, because I can add value in terms of content, but is writing that marketing strategy for them and their social media strategy. I mean, I can show someone how to build a group. I know how to get the following. Part of it's energetic. It is in terms of the energy you put out there. But the other part is just plain old strategic consistency and good content. And I know how to do that. So I am going to be doing something on the side to start pitching to folks who have just recently been laid off or whatever, and they want to start their own business, but they don't have a clue as to where to start. So in terms of not planning, business planning strategy, that's not my, I have an MBA, but that's not what I want to do. I'm talking about marketing strategy and how to get there on the internet strategically without having to spend a whole lot of money, because there's a lot of platforms out there. There are a lot of coaches out there. And before you know it, you can easily spend $10,000 and not have one client. I know, I've been there. So that's the other thing that I'm looking at that I want to do.
Yeah, I definitely would love to discuss with you our affiliate program, because
Okay.
you have a group, right? So we're working hard to protect the voices of women and our communities, also the indigenous, right, in this time. So we have some very aggressive campaigns, and the best way for us to grow is to help people make money for themselves, right? And
Yes.
so our affiliate program, and then of course we can share in your affiliate. We have a space called JVEs, where we have our own technology, where we're able to create affiliate programs and have affiliate managers. I believe in the 2020 deal. Like, so if you have 100 courses being sold in your community, which is sort of like our TV networks, everyone owns a piece of the digital empire in the digital world. Everyone's getting paid, and I didn't want to manage that anymore. I was managing that manually. So we have my CTO, Lorenzo Hickey, created a piece of software that tracks it, does the split, and do the payouts.
Oh, I'm really interested in that. I do have an affiliate program for my membership, but I just noticed that it looks like the widget is disconnected. I wasn't there this morning, so I have to go back in. I built my own website, by the way, and it's not one of those membership platforms. I built it myself using Wix, and actually it's two websites in one, because one is a public side, and the other side is the membership side. And they had an affiliate widget that I installed a couple of weeks ago, and for some reason it looks like it's disconnected, so I have to go back in and figure it out. If I can find another way to do that,
anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. I want someone else to do that. And so the operational overwhelm is a real thing. It's a real thing.
Branding a membership site is interesting, because it's constant content every day. It has to be updated every day. And I do have 2 VAs, but they're busy doing other stuff. And because it's still so new, I want to make sure that the quality is there. But yeah, I've got to find a way to cut some of these back office things
Yeah,
that I'm
that's
doing
my
right
other
now.
company is called TM4 Solutions. It's all automation. And I created it because of my own problems. Okay. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm firing myself from this. I'm firing myself from that. I want it automated, and I want people to do this every single day. You met one of those people today, which is Megan. She's a genius at automation. Like I
Yeah, I
said,
could tell she was sharp.
about my 21 days to one chatbot. One chatbot I made in 21 days. She could do, I don't know, 17 in a day.
Because that's her expertise.
Chatbot funnels all day long while talking to me, chewing gum, taking care of her baby, right?
Right.
And
right.
I'm like getting a brain cramp, trying to make it talk. So I believe it's not what, it's who. Like if you get the who in the space, you collapse time, and then you multiply money. And she's one of those people I consider in my circle a multiplier, like the multiplier effect in the economy. So
well, yeah, I definitely would like to talk to you about that.
yeah,
Because the other thing is, I don't think I'll have a problem selling this membership program, but I have to be ready for the onslaught. I had experience after I had been in business for about 5 years. I had been, I was on the Today Show to talk about pivoting and switching careers after 50, because I left corporate America at 51. And so I've been in it for 17 years. So you guys can do the math. In terms of how old I am, I'll be 68 in June.
No
But
way.
yeah. But when
Love
I did that, when I went on the Today Show, my site just crashed. And I had a web designer, professional web designer, and all of that. I didn't bother telling him about it because we already had the captures and everything else on there. But he needed to have known that so he could prepare from the back office for the
That's
onslaught.
right.
So that taught me a lesson. So I need to take a look at what's going to be needed, back office wise, so that when these people start coming on, yeah, because right now I'm averaging about maybe 200 people coming to the website a day, something like that. So when I start marketing and doing other things, that better go up, right? So I got to make
That's why
sure
it's
that
important
I
to have
am
your
ready for
Yeah.
that.
Easy. Yeah. Go 2,000,
to have
3,000.
that tech department.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Kevin Vaughn?
No, I was just saying they can go to 2,000, 3,000 as soon as you release that new information and broadcast. So yeah, get ready. You got to be ready for that. It's like, relative. I got to have a big enough house for everybody to come to the cookout.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
And we teach that in the podcaster collective. I love funnels and funnel stacking. So we teach top, middle, back office, tofu, mofu, bofu, I call it, right? So that we can get our funnel aligned. But I also believe in keeping it sexy and sustainable, right? If it's not sexy to you, guess what? You're not going to do that thing. It's ugly. Find someone who finds it sexy, right? My project
You know what?
manager loves that stuff. I hate certain things, but she's
I
great.
do want to put a bug in your ear about a new law that took effect in January. And I found out not on my own devices, I found out on one of the platforms that one of my clients uses that I use to do her newsletter. There's a new law that's out that you cannot send emails to people's boxes after 16 hours. Otherwise, it will go into spam. And of course, if your newsletters start going to spam, you know what it does to you in terms of the pecking order on Google.
Yeah.
And I didn't see that. I didn't see that little tiny note until after she had a major email campaign. And she's from the old school. She believes in sending like 4 emails out a day. And I tried to tell her, just from wisdom of experience, not knowing about the law, that people will turn that off and eventually it will go into spam and your opens will go way down and Google will read that. And even people who normally open your email, that will go into spam as well. So anyway, when I looked at the results, sure enough, it was bad, but it was even worse than what I expected. So then I went back and took a look at all these emails she hadn't opened, because I don't open her emails on the platform that were to her. And it was right there, this new law that says that if you are sending an email campaign or funnel or whatever, you need to wait 16 hours before the next one that goes into that email box. Otherwise, it goes straight into spam. So
Yeah, a lot of people are not aware, and you have to stay on top of it. Like the new DCI laws that you're talking about that went to Gmail, and we had to reconfigure everything in January because we were using GMass. GMass is mass emailing through Gmail. And I said, that's not going to work anymore. We're going to have to do another type of IP configuration, rotate it with the VPNs or whatever. And even if they double opted in, it doesn't matter. You had to still.
no, it doesn't. It
But
doesn't.
that's why
They're
you need
trying to.
you need someone who's going to be on top of that. It's just too much. I don't want to think about that stuff. I don't want to wake up at 2:00 in the morning going, I'm only getting 2% open rate. I don't care. I want to just do great at what I'm good at, which is surrounding myself with really smart people, probably people smarter than me, and doing my job, right? And that's it. And that's the type of stuff that could cripple you. Like we were following, and we're gonna keep going to the feedback, but we were following the CTA laws. And that was a big deal. The Corporate Transparency Act, people didn't know about it. I kept reminding people, keep tracking the laws, even if they don't make you file everything on that fincen.com website. Make sure we stay on top of it. And every time someone would sue them for it because it was illegal for them to ask us for the type of data. Which is funny in this day and age where we are living in a perpetual data breach, but we won't go there now. But they ended up freezing that law. They ended up freezing CTA. But the repercussions of ignoring CTA was a $500 a day fine up to $20,000, then punishable by jail. Most business owners had no idea that this was a thing. Right now, They just have it on hold. They haven't eradicated it. And I have a
Right.
feeling with this administration, it's going to get real interesting. So I
Yeah.
have someone
Yeah.
in my purview, in my circle. All they do is research corporate compliance law. That's all they do. Because if I have my business, which is very techy anyway, I'm looking at compliance, but my friend who has the nail tech joint, she's not looking at that, but she's still a business and can be impacted,
Mm-hmm. Right.
right?
Yeah, that's good. That's why you got to have somebody on your staff that keeps up to date and can brief you when you all meet, on this stuff, Yeah.
It's absolutely critical. I don't know if anybody else wants to feedback, but I'm glad you guys enjoyed this. If you want to see more of this, we do schedule probably a little more granular focus work because you get a little packet, you prepare for your work in a different way so that you actually come out with outcomes make you money, right? Like we let time and money, you have to collapse time so that you can flow with your money, not push for it. And a lot of times the money you're looking for is not really the money. You already have it.
Yeah.
And for me, I make my goals. I have a 3 times rule that if I know I need 10,000, my goal is 30, right? Just like when you do booking venues. If I have a venue that's $10,000 for everything, that means I have to at least 3 times that in order for that event to be successful, right? I do that with my life, right? It's like my life is a venue. This is my show. I'm the CEO of my space, right? So this is how I book my life. And then there's things that I can't put a price tag on, like spending time with my kids,
Right.
my besties and my daddy and my friends and doing innovation time. Like last night I did prayer all night
Yeah.
with a sister in Atlanta on her clubhouse room. I can wait to do that. That's old school, to just sit there and lay there and hear the worship and bathe in the worship and prayer. There was nothing that was going to stop me from doing that. So that's something I could not put a price tag on, right? So everything had to be clear for that. So, and speaking of prayer, just to let you guys know, if anyone here likes to pray or needs prayer, we pray Monday through Saturday at 6:00 a.m. Arizona time on Clubhouse and have been since September 9th, 2019. Now,
Good.
What's the name of your room?
now let's pray.
Okay, I think I've seen it because I've been on Clubhouse for a couple of years. I used to be on there a lot, but I'm not on there hardly at all anymore. But I used to be on there a lot. Yeah, and and I used to belong to a prayer line on there too as well. That was on Clubhouse, and unfortunately the leader passed away. And
wow.
yeah, she was wonderful. We became very good friends. I never met her, but we became very good friends. I miss Clubhouse. I really do.
Yeah, we do our prayer line. We moved there probably 2 years ago from being just on a conference call line, but I really believe Spirit told me to start the prayer line September, right before the pandemic, not knowing what was happening. So I had a dream to downsize my real estate, get rid of my recording studios, instead of doing these 2,000 people events live, do boutique delivery broadcast events that are pay-per-view. That all happened in September 2019. So when I did my annual women's empowerment event called SheCon, which was usually 2,500 to 3,000 people, we only did 200 people, but every ticket was a VIP ticket. We only had celebrity speakers, but I didn't know the whole world was going to change. So I was grateful that I listened to the Lord, and we got rid of 19 locations, which if we would have kept them, that would have taken our business under. And we downsized, and I love having a skinny business. Having a skinny business makes me happy. And everybody's a CEO. I don't have any employees anymore at all, right? Everyone owns their business, and we empower their position based on their calling, and then they integrate into our business and we promote each other. That's the strategic constellation.
I just saw a question from Princess. I don't know if you saw this question or not. I have an answer, but I'm sure it's to you, not to me. You see that?
If you're an umbrella, you start attracting sponsors, or the person you are umbrellaing try to take leadership over your business. I would like more details about that. Where's Princess?
Yeah,
Yeah, that seems a little more, that seems like a character question and not necessarily a legal logistical question,
absolutely.
right? You can have a proper business structure and they do the worst. Or you can, I've written a contract with my MAC lip gloss and made a lot of money with that person, but that's what we had available in that cafe and we made an MOU right quick. And I took my little and wrote my thing and then handed it to my assistant and typed it up. And that was the best business I've done with,
Yeah.
At the time. It's up to the character of that person. Princess, we're reading your question. Can you clarify, my dear?
I said, if you umbrellaing somebody in your business, you the leadership of your business. You the leader of the business, the visionary of your business. And you umbrellaing somebody and you the one that gets you're the one that's doing all the work, getting the corporations, and now that corporations are taking notice of you, the person that you're umbrellaing is starting to, like, how can I say, feel some type of way, maybe. And and you already put an agreement together, but what they want is for their business to be presented as well with yours. Now that you're starting to get corporations interested in your business.
What do you mean by umbrella? I think I need to understand that more clearly.
Umbrella means since she has a 50C and I don't, I'm umbrellaing her. Jesus Works is under her since she has the 501, since she's the one that can do the tax write-offs and all that.
Fiscal sponsor.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. So for me, like I said, it's all about character and like really having very clear conversations. I have two fiscal sponsors, right, for my nonprofit donations. And that's because I do not want to manage that. I've had several nonprofits. I don't like it, right? I like to do what I want to do and what I'm good at, as you can see. So my internal agreements are very clear. You front load that, like what is their position? What is your position right off in that? If there's a growth spurt, what does that look like so you can grow together? What is their end game goal for being your fiscal sponsor, right? And if you feel like if it's not a match anymore, think about your exit strategy, right? In that situation, so that you're not spending all this time tolerating each other and it's hindering your business flow. Lennis, was there something else you wanted to add to that? Because you're the one who brought it to my attention.
Yeah, I find in situations like that, you first have to be secure enough to know that if there's any movement even close to that, that you're energetically, in terms of the time that you put into the business, and also the fact that it's your passion, your idea, it belongs to you. That usually, it should not even happen as long as you're using your good judgment in terms of who you work with. So I would say in all things like that, whenever you're looking at any kind of collaboration, I personally always go into prayer first. And in the 18 years I've been in business, I think I've had one issue, and that was probably the one time I didn't listen. But you just need to have the confidence that that regardless. I know when I first started doing this back in 2008. I'm sorry, that's my grandson. 2009. One of the things that happened was I used to get feedback from people that so and so was copying my branding or copying my messaging or whatever. And I'm like, and at that point, I wasn't trademarking or copywriting or any of that at the time. And I said, well, you know what? The bottom line is if they do that, that's fine, but it didn't come from them and they're not me. They're not me. And over time, those imitators and things went away. And I don't really, struggle with that any longer. So as long as you're being authentic, no one can redo or imitate you. And taking over something that you've created really isn't possible. They might take over the idea or the shell, but the implementation and how it's rolled out and how it is communicated and all of that, that's all energetically yours. And of course, from a legal perspective, there's all kinds of protections around that. But if you're going to be working with people or doing the umbrella thing, you don't want to do it in fear that someone might take it. Okay, because that just kind of blocks the energy of flow in terms of collaboration. And so just make sure you're choosing the right people and you'll be okay.
Okay. Thank you.
I love it. What a great.
I love her voice.
I love her voice too. I
too.
can't get enough of it.
Yeah, she got the Michelet going on.
Yeah, that's powerful. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, Doc,
Yeah.
Doc, I was just thinking real quickly to have those conversations. You know, we're all adults, right? So you got to have those conversations with your partners, you know, whether it's the board of directors or your VP or your directors or whatever. Just sit down and have a cup of coffee and talk about those things, you know, and make sure there's understanding, because sometimes we perceive stuff, it's not necessarily what it is, but if it's not in agreement with you, you need to have those conversations with your team or people that you're collaborating with. No doubt about it. Communication can knock off a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I
And
love
and even deeper than that, dealing with the trauma that makes you afraid to communicate.
Yeah.
So that you don't have that, because sometimes we grow up in volatile environments, and so we don't feel safe or confident to bring things up because there wasn't space before, and that creates habits, and then those habits create dysfunctional relationship. But you shouldn't be sitting with a frequency that came from somebody else that you're not comfortable with. You should give that back to them, and if you took it wrong, you know, you can deal with the trigger, and then you can clear that permanently. So that's the other layer of that for sure.
That's great, Megan.
That's exactly where I was coming from, because I look at her as a big sister, you know, and as a young woman, I look at her that way. I look up to her, and when I do have these conversations, it's like we are more clashing.
Right.
You know, because I have the vision, she has the vision for her business, but I'm more focused on what God gave me, you know, and not what she has, you know, because she's been in on her 50C, but the thing that makes me a little nervous about it is when I did do my launch and I tried to, you know, illustrate the ideas that I have, it just seemed like it was a more of a takeover than more of a direction she was trying to give me. I could take criticism very well. It's I know when somebody is trying to overstep their boundary or trying to step over my ideas when I'm not being heard. And so I felt like, okay, well, since this is, you know, I look up to her as my big sister. I don't know, should I say something to her because I don't want to hurt her feelings? And I know feelings is not. Sorry about that, y'all. I got two dogs. And I know feelings is not in it, but when it comes down to business, and I just believe that, you know, sometimes I don't want to. You know, I don't want to lose a friendship or a mentor, someone like that I see as a big sister over business, because we didn't get in the right idea space of what it was that was established.
Facilitating a point of awareness for where you guys intersect and making appropriate relationship protocols on how you collaborate effectively is going to remove a lot of that friction and resistance, because that's what you're bringing. It's like, I feel God calling me to flow this way, but there's these points of friction and resistance. And instead of speaking to the demand on attention when it comes to the emotions, you speak to the order of operation so that you can remove those friction points. And then Tina Michelle is really good at helping, you know, how to establish a relationship. But one thing she always reminds me of is put no man above you. And sometimes we get into these relationships that are nurturing us in a specific way. And we need to make sure we're having appropriate relationships, because those people are your partners there to walk beside you. But we can't let the relationship or the fear of losing the relationship be something that we put between ourselves and God. And that's just that.
This is powerful. I love it. This is what I see Black Empowered Media doing, being nurturing and supportive. And, you know, there's other groups represented here. Kevin Vaughn has a group. Megan does a lot of group engagement, as well as we saw Lynette. And I really think, I'll make sure I'm saying her name right, Linus. I think I've seen you, Linus, on Clubhouse. Do you ever go to Tommy Jackson's room?
I have been on there before. Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Tommy is my friend. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I used to be there 3 times a day at least. It was responsible for 30% increase in my income when Clubhouse was there. Thankfully, the relationships I struck on there lasted, so I didn't take a hit when things went south. But yeah, it was really a great revenue generator for me back then.
We pray there. I see Peace Supreme is on. I would love to hear from him now that he could get on camera. And I know he was invited by the beautiful Megan.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys. And thank you, Megan, for taking the time thinking about me. It was a little spontaneous because, you know, it came out the blue, but I like that though. I like that a lot. You know, just come with it. I don't ask, you know, notice I didn't ask you no questions or anything. I just, boom, I'm on, you know, because that's how things have to flow. You know, if you have the vision already and you already know where you see yourself and where you want to go, automatically understanding the dynamics and how things flow, those opportunities or those connections is going to automatically, you know, establish themselves. So boom, it's just a matter of taking action and moving. So yeah, I'm thankful to be here. Finally got into a spot where I could, you know, actually speak. And yeah, I feel good today. As Megan has said, I'm actually involved in a lot of things, but right now my main focus is in the crypto space. I got involved in cryptocurrency and just learning blockchain technology, I say about since 2020, 2021. So the last bull run, learned a lot because I pretty much had to learn quickly because things move fast in this space. And you know, not having the mentorship or having that guidance at that time and learning from those experiences moving forward, seeing other people, you know, start to get involved, I really started to stress the importance of education, right? Because I ended up partnering with quite a few people over, you know, the last 2-3 years. And don't get me wrong, making money is important. By all means, that's what we're here to do. But the relationships to me are what establishes that foundation to pivot and really start to, what's the word I'm looking for? But really start to build something lasting. So like, okay, you want to make money, cool. I want to build wealth. Wealth is bigger than money. It's about legacies. It's about, you know, the next generation. It's about having something for us because we understand our history and how that went, right? And how, you know, we had opportunities to really build for ourselves, but we were dependent upon, you know, this quote unquote system that, you know, was established for us to be subservient to. So I saw cryptocurrency, digital currency assets and this technology as a way for us to really gain back our independence, our financial independence, and the opportunities that come with that. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to create the spaces to facilitate that understanding, that knowledge, and then just navigating the space in general. So my organization that I started, and that's why I say I'm in the place where I really want to expand because I've done the part from putting it from pen to action, right? I'm on, online. I'm connecting with people. I'm networking. I'm getting things established, and the traction is coming along. But to balance it out and get myself monetized, or the compensation for the value that I'm putting out, because I'm naturally giving. I like to give to people, but you don't want to be that person who's giving, but you're not able to have anything for yourself or get any compensation for that. Even though it's not I'm not trying to hustle people or anything. I really want to help them. But in order to help people, you have to help yourself.
That's right.
You see what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I'm a student before anything. And that's why I can sit here and listen to you guys talk and just take notes, because this is something I'm not directly involved in the media space or anything like that. Although I have dreams of, eventually, we want to get into film work or start to, put entertainment out there, but valuable, people can actually learn through the entertainment. So the whole edutainment thing, I really like that. I really like that concept. So yeah.
Yes. Definitely. When you get that together, make sure you circle back around to the Black Empower Media Network. We can definitely get you out there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys for that.
I'm trying to pull up a picture because I'm looking at Peace Supreme and seeing my brother.
Girl.
That is my look at. I'm not even playing. I'm gonna try to give it to Brenda.
You mean Kevin?
And pull it up. And when you get older, Peace Supreme, this is what you're gonna look like. Just letting you know.
You speaking of Kevin, Tina?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I see it too.
Wow, you look like my little bro. Kevin. I can find the photo.
You guys are brilliant. That's all I know. You guys are brilliant.
Oh my gosh, I'm in love. I love the meeting of the minds and the generations. This is a blurry picture. This is him on Zoom with me. We're talking about a music project. Can you do it? What's that?
Okay, you send it to me? Okay.
Yeah,
one thing that you said I want to talk about really quick, and maybe some of the more seasoned business owners on the call can speak to this, but establishing proper feedback loops for compensation or reconnection when you're giving value, it gives people the opportunity to appreciate, by literal definition of the word, what it is that you're putting out there. And so we have to break the mental constructs of what we're providing, from whether that's an audio or a piece of information, etc. Oh my goodness.
Is that him older? This is my brother.
They definitely look like they could be kinfolk for sure.
They kinfolk. Except he's a producer. He's a musician and producer.
That's great.
And that's funny because I never found the right people to work with, but I do write, I do music, that whole artistry. Yeah, so I just gotta partnering up with the right people for production and getting my content out there like that. Yeah. It's crazy how these things align. My cousin is actually a producer, and yeah, this is right on time. He's in St. Louis. Man, what's that song Nelly and Kelly Rowland did?
I know what you mean. What is the name of that song?
So
it's like everybody knows that song.
Yeah.
No matter what I do. Yeah, produced that. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah, we are St. Louis natives. Yeah, so I just see the alignments. Like all of this stuff is lined up, and the fact that I was even invited here today, I'm like, perfect timing.
Yeah.
Like this is right on time with where I know I'm headed. So yeah.
Nice.
I want to speak to what Megan was talking about appreciation and trust. And those are very legal and financial terms, right? and they mean what they mean. We might want them to be something else very colloquially, but I take relationship capital very, very seriously.
Hey, sweetie, can you bring me some salt for my lentils?
Yeah, I'll bring you some salt, Meg.
Sorry.
Hold on, I'll bring it from Arizona to El
I'm so ready for you to get over
Give
here,
me
girl. You
5
already know.
give me 5 minutes, I'll be there. So the relationship capital piece, I think it's the part that Matt and I discuss the most, because especially as a woman of color, being as brilliant as she is, a lot of times and it happens with men too, men of color. And I see it with some of my brothers and my spiritual sons, where they have one voice when they're speaking to one group of people and another voice when they're speaking to another group of people, one language when they're speaking to one group of people. Well, you have the opportunity to be you 24/7, 7 days a week. You just have the responsibility to train people to treat you the way you want to be treated. That is your responsibility. You do not have the ability to respond, and you in a place of being reactionary, and that's usually trauma-based, trauma-derived. So even though I do a lot of business training, I really focus on you being okay in your own skin, understanding that you're a designer original with the maker's mark, and then understanding that you are a whole vibe within yourself. You're an empire. Therefore, there's a constitution, there's rules and mandates. I always tell people these are the ABCs of me, baby. I come with warning stickers. You never have to guess when I press the delete button. You never have to guess, right? And it's always going to be because you breached the trust of someone that I consider myself a steward over. Right? And so having internal agreements, as Princess, I don't know if she's still here, what she's talking about is properly aligned relationship and having value in what you bring to the table and being courageous enough to stand on business. It's important. You don't have to be nasty about it. You don't have to be rude about it. It's just, this is who I am. This is what I do. Yes, we can evolve in certain areas together and grow. So we have check-ins every week. If we work together very closely, we check in every day and we write. I like corporate formats. I write stat reports. This is where we are right now. Here's the static. I want you to know, let's handle this data over here. Let's handle the money over here. Let's lock it in, because when we know what we're making financially and we know what we're doing, the rest is easy. The rest is easy. Now, the rest, my personality things might come up, but that's based on that person's disposition and what they bring to the table. And you can decide how you want to be responsible for it, but that's part of your internal agreements as well. When someone engages me, I say, everyone has self-sabotaging behavior. What things are going to show up in this space that I can support you in? Let's not pretend it's not there. We're human beings, right? And we're not human doing. So whatever we be is what we're going to do. And so let's let it drill into that and be real about it. Instead of walking around, on tiptoe around each other and go, well, what if they, I'm going to tell you this. I'm from New York. If it goes too slow, I'm going to get bored. I might tap out. Doesn't mean I don't want to be part of the project. It's just I'm at a certain part of the project. I mean, at the very beginning, I give you clear instructions. I need you to follow these instructions. If I don't know, I'm gonna tell you immediately. Don't try to make me know something I don't know. I'm gonna get you to someone who does know, though. Right? And then when you get instructions, do it. If you cannot do preliminary baseline things, you're not gonna do the things that require character, accountability, and for you to be doing the work when no one's watching.
That's powerful, Doc.
Do the basic things, right? And I'm grateful to be raised in a very competitive environment in the music industry. When I was in the music industry, by 16 years old, we were already working for Motown, Uptown. We were Uptown. We were for Andre Harrell and everything else. So we were there. That was not an easy space to be in. We created a whole new economy, a whole new paradigm. We created a whole new word, right? My brother Kevin that showed you created the word hip hop with Diddy. That is factual. So up until that point, people are getting $5,000 a track. We decided that we want 100,000, 150,000. We decided that we wanted to get brand deals. We didn't know what they were. We just wanted to wear Adidas. We wanted them to pay us in our music videos. Children. But we decided that we can make the rules. That's where we are right now. It seems like a world that's broken. But behind every opposition is a fantastic opportunity for us to really be who we are. We are not a minority. We are 3/4 of the world population. What happens if we all have one conversation? What if we decide that we are our brothers? What if we decide these things? Megan, you're beautiful. Like, what if we decide? All the things that we are fearful of, right? A lot of it is internalized racism. Can I just say it? That if it's not black, if it's not white, or, it's not good unless it's white. That slave boundary validation. This is time to get past all this.
Yes.
And say the thing.
Focus on what you got.
Put your blinders on. You know what, folks? My ecosystem. Focus on continuously uprooting stops, sabotage, and Satan. Stops are your own. Stops are your environment. Sabotage is your own. Satan is the thing that robs you of your destiny. Focus on continuously uprooting stops, sabotage, and it takes blinders to do that. And then surround yourself with people who are value adds, not people who are tolerating you. They don't deserve the investment of your communication or your gifting. Who's that beautiful king I see? Riley. Denise Riley. Is that your grandbaby?
Yes, that's my grandbaby. This is my grandson.
Oh.
He want to be everywhere I'm at. All my grandbabies, they just love some of me. I'm a mother of 7.
Legacy.
So I guess they could tell by the nurture and the caring that I give to them that they just want to be always with me, always around me. That's just my spirit.
I love it. Thank you for sharing your baby with me. My favorite little baby is not on camera. She's not there. Miss Christiana. She's my favorite.
I want to say something that you were saying, Tina. Can you hear me?
Yes.
What you were just talking about is the illusion, and sometimes we struggle with how to respond to the illusion so that we can move our focus. And I want you to speak to what I'm about to share. But what I've found, and you help me with this a lot, is when something comes up that is a trigger or a distraction, or it's one of those beliefs we were talking about, like for me, I'm mixed. So I deal with the black-white argument every day inside my own body, right? So when certain things manifest, like a thought that's limiting me from being in a collaborative state with either side of myself, I have to speak a truth to that. And then I have to act anyways in faith that I know what I am. I know that I am, and I'm welcome in that space. And then I have to continue to nurture that. Sometimes your nervous system responds. Sometimes your subconscious mind responds, and it starts to argue with you. And you have to have, I like to call it an affidavit of truth that you declare against that distraction and that illusion. And that's how you navigate that space. But then there's also that focal point, which is that end point that we were talking about, where our goal for that focus that we just did, what was it that we were there to achieve? So it doesn't matter what kind of demand for your attention is coming, no matter what thought or interruption, right? We have to have an appropriate response that nullifies that vibration, which is that thought or whatever, and then keeps us redirected back to our focal point. And that's how I'm able to manage that inside of myself, because there's so many thoughts, so many things I'm battling on, so many different dimensions, but I have to get the thing done, right? So I wanted to give that, because that's what I was inspired to share from what you were sharing.
I love that. Thank you, Megan.
That's awesome. And that's a lot of our toggling every day, right, Megan? She's so brilliant, and she's got so many very high performance tasks that's on her desk. And we'll commiserate with her for a minute. Like, girl, I understand. Okay, now let's get this done.
Yeah.
Right. How's this going to serve you?
Yeah.
How are you being
Mhm.
shown in the space? You are the king of your space. You are the CEO of your space. You're the chief executive and the visionary of your space. If things are not collaborating with supporting you in that area, you need to make a decision about it. But it should never be deciding about you. Ever,
Mhm.
ever. And I know there's times when I talk to her, she's probably looking at the phone like, what did she just say? I don't care what kind of day I have. I am Tina Michelle. I'm dope. God took time to make me.
Mhm.
I might be his favorite child and I might be his problem child, depending on the day, right? But what do you
Yes,
say?
you matter.
I matter. I am
Mhm.
the material substance in this universe that's manifesting every moment, every day to create the world that I live in on my choices. And I have the right to re-choose every moment, every second.
Mhm.
I have the right to re-choose and create what I want to create, not what I have to create, not what I have to tolerate. The one,
Mhm.
if you really want to see me upset, you say these 3 letters to me, 3 letters. Take note. Let. I'ma let you do. Ooh, you want to see me get? You want to see
That's
all my New York
that's
show up?
true. That's so
You're gonna
true.
let me do? You're gonna let me do something? You see the head? See the neck? New York just showed up, right, Kevin? New York.
Right.
You don't have the permission to allow me to do anything. I am me and sovereign and own me, and I was created to own myself. I am the owner, not owned.
That's
That's
right.
right. Right.
That's where
That's
we have to be. And
powerful.
it's not a point of anger or bitterness, it's a declaration and
Mhm.
decree that this is the kingdom
Declaration.
I walk in. Even if I only own this, it's mine.
Yeah.
And I
That's
get to
right.
make decisions around it
That's right.
on
Mhm.
how I engage it with you.
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
excited. I love you all. You all have been here
Yes.
hanging. This has been very enriching. I say we
Yes.
again. I
Oh
love
yeah.
doing deep work. It's never one 25-minute session. It's usually 4 hours. You usually have a project map, plan, an end game, we reverse engineer it, we drill into it.
Mhm.
Usually do this with my client base, but because of what's going on more than ever, we need to put the blinders on and get into our bag. Would you agree?
Yes.
And I like doing this part. I like working with the person minute by minute, hand by hand, and going, what about this? What about this? How do you know it's true? How do you know it doesn't work? What happens when we work it this way? Let's get the best thinking on it. Let's bring a lawyer. Let's bring an accountant. Let's bring a this person.
Mhm.
Let's toggle this knowledge base so that it's going to get you where you need to be so it can do what it do.
Mhm.
All right. So I'm proud of you all for being here for this period of time. And Brenda, thank you for hosting and facilitating
Yes.
this experience. And
I
Megan,
loved
thank you
it.
for writing. But you guys, you invested this time in yourself, and it's
Yes.
super exciting. For those of
Mhm.
you who are broadcasters, we need to see you on one of these TV networks right here.
That's right.
We all worked we work collaboratively. So that means if you originate your content on BEMN, you have the possibility of being syndicated to the other
Yeah.
beautiful CEO of her network, Monroe, on My Life TV, which is her format. Everyone has their formats for their TV networks or one of the other 213 media networks that I get to manage and be the CEO over.
Right.
We do the type of teaching on a regular basis because it's not enough to be seen. You have to know what to do when you're being seen.
Mhm.
I used to get mad with, I know most of y'all are young, so this is going to be too old for you, but if y'all remember Jet Magazine,
No.
Yes.
Yes, of course, yes.
okay, they would sit in the middle of that Jet
Yeah.
Magazine and they would do a picture, they would do a stand. I never understood why you wanted to do that if you weren't getting money. I said, Mom, how much are they getting for that spot? Oh, they just honored to be in the middle of the. You could not get me in there until I understood, and I'm 13 saying this. What's the point? Right. And again, it might be an East Coast mentality. It's not making money, it's not making sense. I don't care about your red carpet. What's the functionality of it? So I can understand the purpose, the use case scenario of why it should live in my world. Well, what's the point of doing TV? You know that some of the top reality shows, my favorite ones, I love Mary, love Mary. $2,000
Hey,
episode.
sorry, I'm hearing some feedback or some. If you can you mute yourself? If you're not speaking at the moment, can't hear Tina. Thank you.
It's only 200. They only got $2,000 episode. They weren't allowed to cross sell out of their TV, outside of that show. Everything that they did on that show was owned by the TV network. Unfortunately, that happened because of Real Housewives of New York, when I can't remember her name, but she created the skinny popcorn. She made like $20 million off of that show. So they made sure that you had no ancillary products. You couldn't sell anything. They couldn't even promote their music like that on their show. I mean, concert tickets, show engagements. What's the point? Why do the media if you cannot integrate the media into your bottom line? This day and age, you have to use social media, legacy media, right? And you are the brand channel. You are the brand. Don't be confused. It's not a brand. People are not buying it. They're buying you, right? So your brand promise, your brand equity, your brand messaging, your brand voice. I love brand architecture, because if you don't have a good brand, then why would they come back? That's what branding is. It's not about your color. It's not about your font. Branding is the relationship you have with your clients and the people who consume your product, and the reason why they keep coming back. That is what branding is. It's magnetic and beautiful and miraculous. So your media should show that. And it doesn't have to be a $50,000 reduction. It just needs to be a 1,000,000% you. And people will watch you and engage with you. And they would want more of you, because they will be able to see themselves in you. That's the power of a visual economy. So we're moving forward in 2025. Our commitment, Connect to Your City, is to integrate our podcasters. And we started last year, bring them live to the events. I mean, we had one event with the athletes, and Brenda laughs because she hears all my thoughts, right? Because she gets to assist me in booking and all that stuff. And the first sports event we did with our sports channel called Nilo, because of the NILs and NiloTV.com. I didn't want to go. It was Deion Sanders. I didn't really care. I didn't watch sports. We had primetime positioning. I did my job as CEO of the company. 87,000 people were in that arena looking at our podcasters, right? In the VIPs, doing private interviews. And I went, this is another space for me to expose my people in. So when we had a chance to do Snoop, that's what we're doing. Now, the next event we're doing is at South by Southwest, the green carpet. It is integrated racially. We get to talk about global sustainability and financial literacy and wellness and biohacking and all that sort of my favorite woo conversations. But the team that's putting it together, I've worked with them for over 20 years. We were able to produce the 30th anniversary of Woodstock together in partnership with Yoko Ono. And so we're going to do it. We'll be on tour this year, One Love Rising. And then there's a few other events that will be converging there from the hip hop community. Sugar T will be there. The Legacies will be there. So you got, again, me, Linus, and Kevin probably know these names, and maybe Brenda. We got Dougie Fresh is going to be there, Sugar T, E40. Those are my people. I managed Sugar T for 12 years. So we're going to be talking about what can hip hop do positively to change what's happening in human impact within our own communities. We're going to be talking about our health is our wealth, right? Mm-hmm. And I know Linus like that. Mm-hmm. And so I'm excited about that. Then we'll be in Hawaii in June, again with global sustainability. Then our goal is to converge all 4 of these tours into Times Square in September, where we started last year. We did a concert for global peace and unity for the International Day of Peace in Times Square. We're going to end up in Times Square again. So a lot of our independent artists that come online with us, they have an opportunity to rock the mic. But more importantly, they get to be around real business owners that are going to help them grow in that skill set. It's not enough to be an artist. I hate to say that.
Right.
I represent artists for a long time in offers. It's 10% product, 90% marketing.
Yes,
sales
I
and
did.
branding. That is the reality of this game. Unless you're a hobbyist, then sing in the shower and for your auntie May, that's cool. Don't call Brenda and waste her time.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
All right.
I'm
Because we're
speaking,
about people who make impact.
speaking of time, I did, I know someone's asking, is it supposed to end at 3? Yes, we are. I did have it extended for another half an hour. I don't know if it's going to cut off or not. So just letting you know, Tina, time-wise.
Okay, we got 3 minutes. I would like to see, you know, just by show of hands, did you guys give value today?
Yes.
Yes.
I did too. I have so much fun talking to brilliant, beautiful people, and I'm so grateful for you all. Next thing is, what are you going to do next? We schedule our events when we you know, our media calendar, but most importantly, you don't have to wait till the next event to go into action. If you don't do anything at this point forward, you're not serving yourself. You've wasted your time, not mine, your time, right? So we be connecting the dots and having offline meetings and creating ways for us to engage each other. I know Kevin Vaughn has a podcast. Kevin, you've got guests right here, powerful ones. Let's scoot him and boot him, brother.
Yeah, scoot him and boot him.
Scoot him and boot him, right?
All about
Let's get it done.
all about
Right.
exposure. There's more exposure. Get that exposure going.
That's right.
That's right. Well, we've got over 200 podcasters that we represent, and we're able to book them, and we're trying to put them all in the collective. So
Website is right there, BEMNTV.com. And my phone number, have something to write it down, is 202-308-3157. Make sure you call me 202-308-3157. Again, the website is right on the screen, BEMNTV.com. And thank you, Dr. Tina, for your expertise, for your time. Thanks everyone for joining us. Make sure you join the Black Business Owners Network, BBON, on Facebook, where we have over 70,000 members. And that's all I have. Hope you enjoyed it. All right. Did you have any closing words, Tina? I know we got 1 minute left.
Great job, everybody.
blessings, power, miracles. Your kings walk with your throne and your crown in your scepter, and don't give it to anyone else.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Everyone have a wonderful day. I see y'all on the next event. Bye-bye. Brenda Easton signing off.
Thank you for inviting me, Brenda. Take care now.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.